everyone, and welcome back to Turner Tools. I am Heather Turner, and I am here to help you on your EdTech journey to awesome. Today, we'll be learning more about Pear Deck. Yes, there's more, a lot more. We will go through all the different kinds of questions and templates that you can use. Please note that I am using the premium version, but if there's something that is not part of the free version, I will let you know. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to put up the Pear Deck sidebar. So let's go to add-ons, Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on, open Pear Deck add-on. So that's going to have our console right on the right-hand side, and we can utilize all the features of Pear Deck. So the first thing that we have here is we have the template library, and that's right here, and this is going to show you already completed templates. So let's go in there and let's see what it looks like. So we have lesson builders, so things at the beginning of the lesson, during the lesson, and the end of the lesson. So let's look at what the beginning of the lesson looks like. So it's going to have kind of those beginning of lesson questions to try to see what the students already know or what they what kind of information they're coming into. So we have a couple of different types of question. So we have a text slide in which students are going to write a response. We have drawing slides in which students will be able to draw their answer or use text as well. That's kind of like all-encompassing everything, whatever the student wants to do. Then we have a draggable slide, and that allows the student to drag an item across the screen to give you what it is that they want to tell you. All right, so that is the beginning of the lesson. Then we have during the lesson, which are assessments, activities, and transitions. So it might be true, false, give you a multiple choice question. Again, we have the draggable slide to kind of gauge a temperature check of understanding. Again, with the drawing slide, maybe a mind map might be helpful. So these are really, really great. Maybe something even as simple as just instructions on the screen for having a stretch break. Okay, so those are during the lesson, and then end of the lesson are things like exit tickets and reflections. So it gives you things like, how are you feeling? I've actually used this slide for another use that I'll show you in a moment. Again, with the drawing slide and draggable slide. So I will tell you that the draggable and the draw are your premium options, but all the rest of these question types are in the free version. And I used the free version for quite a long time before I upgraded. So this looks familiar, doesn't it? I said that I used this slide for a different reason. So this is an A, B, C, or D kind of situation, and I use it for my book talks. And so when I book talk a book, I want to know if the students, it kind of resonated with them, because then it can dictate what kind of books I might recommend for that class in the future. So this is kind of an ABC situation. So I used this when I didn't have the premium version. And I also did this one when I got the premium version, which allows me to have the students drag an icon at the thumbs up or thumbs down. So two different ways to ask the same question. So another type of question might be that you have something on the screen that you want the students to draw. So this is cause and effect, and students can actually draw on the slide. I actually got this from the science templates, which are actually on the website. So it's a fishbone diagram that lets students lead causes to effects. So there's a lot of templates that you can use. Whoops, let me go back to my question slide. There we go. So maybe you have a map of the United States, and you want students to be able to draw or tell you the location of something. So to do that, I just decide what kind of question I want. So I'm going to do the draw. And it has a pop-up, and it tells you that drawing response preview, student device and classroom projector. I just say update slide. and it adds it right to the bottom of the screen. Now I'm going to have to tell the students what I want them to draw. So I just need to add a text box. Find our state. And then I'm going to increase the size of it. And probably fill in the box as well. So I've given them the instruction on what they're going to need to do, and then they will see this on the screen. Okay? So another kind of question might be a number question. And so that's right here under Ask a Student a Question. It's number. If I click on that, it's going to pop up and it will add on the slide that bar at the bottom that I already have that says students enter a number. And so you could put on whatever kind of picture that you want that would elicit a number. It could be a mathematical formula, or it could be a bunch of apples on the screen and that you want students to count. Just whatever happens to be what you want them to, that would be a number. You can also have students label things. So this one is a draw slide, which means that the students can click where the 1 is and write text in wherever they want on the screen. So that's really great for labeling. Circling. So this is somehow you might use it in a language class. So you could have the students circle the correct answer. And here's another one with the map. And this actually has you draw an icon. So I'm just going to show you that draw. Nope, I was wrong. It was the draggable one. So I'm going to show you what the draggable one will allow you to do. So it allows you to choose what kind of thing you want to be draggable. So I might choose a flag. Now the students will see a flag that they're going to have to click and drag and place on the map. So that's the map one. Now students can also draw on the slide. So maybe you want them to show you how Magellan went and circumnavigated the globe. So that's kind of an interesting way to check for students' understanding on in social studies. We have a maze, which is always fun, kind of just adds a little fun and whimsy to the class. So it's another way that you could use the slide. This is an A, B, and C situation. So again, we could have a picture and ask a question. And then this one again is a numbered slide. So we can ask a question, which this is something that my grandfather always used to say. So it's always something that I think is kind of funny. And then you can also have students write a response. And I do tend to use this quite a bit because then I can see the information in real time. Now, this was kind of like I kind of freaked out a little bit when I figured this out, which was that you can actually embed websites. Yeah. Game changer, right? So maybe you want to put in a video. And I'll talk about a video because there's another thing that you need for a video. But this is Wave on a String. It's actually an embedded graphic GIF kind of thing. You can also embed Kahoot. So you don't have to go out to Kahoot. Okay? So you can put it right on the screen, right in here for the students. Now you, of course, still have to have your Kahoot game up, but that is pretty cool that the students could just, within Pear Deck, be able to log into the Kahoot. So they don't have to type in anything or go someplace else. So I really like that for Kahoot. You can also embed the graphing calculator, the Desmos graphing calculator. You can also embed Google Street View, which is pretty cool. And you can embed Google videos, any type of video from YouTube. The only thing is that if you want it to actually play and you won't have to click on it and go someplace else, you have to get an additional extension called Pear Power Up. And all it does is it allows you to actually play the video right in there. Okay. So, and it just increases the load time just slightly when you want to start the lesson. So I'm going to actually show you what these look like in real time. So I'm going to start this lesson. All right, so I'm going to show you what the questions look like in student pace mode. So the first question that I have is in multiple choice question. And so you'll notice that I have the slideshow right here on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, I have the questions. And so it doesn't matter what kind of device you're using, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so I'm going to answer the question, and then it gives me the next question. And this is a dot that I can drag around to wherever I feel that I've answered the question. And you'll notice that down at the bottom, it has slide 3 out of 22, and this has a check mark. When I go to the next question, it no longer has the check mark. But if I do something, it gives me the check mark. So that was a drawing question. So this one is another drawing question, and I can use text. I can use a line, I can use a highlighter, or I can use a pencil. And I can even change the color. So I'm going to find my state. And so once I'm done, I have that check mark, and I go on to the next question. This one is a number question, meaning that the only thing that I can put in that box is a number. So if I try to put in a letter, it doesn't let me. It's not going to check for the answer being correct. It is just checking for that you have completed the question. So just keep that in mind. Okay. This one is the diagram, which is really cool. So I'm going to, right now I'm on the pencil, which I of course could like try to draw in the answer, but I find that just using the text is a lot easier. So I just click on there, and then I can type the name of whatever the item is that it is pointing to. Again, it's not, once I start typing something in the drawing one, it is assuming that I am done. Well, you'll notice that there's still 3 more boxes that need to be filled out. Okay. All right, this one is another drawing one, and you'll notice because I just typed, it doesn't reset. So I need to actually go back to the pencil, and then I can make that circle. And then this one is a drag the icon one. Like we noticed before, we can change the type of icon that it is. So I can click and drag that icon right there. And I go on to the next one, which is a drawing, and I can actually draw on here and draw the route that Magellan used to circumnavigate the globe. Loop. And again, it tells me that I'm done because I've drawn a line, not because I'm necessarily correct. Okay, the maze, again, is just a drawing one that we can go through and do the maze. Okay, and then this one is a multiple choice. You can have just a multiple choice with 2 questions. You could have a true false, okay, and do that this way. Again, this is a numbered one. And another short answer. So the answer can be as long or short as you want it to be. Sometimes you can give parameters to the students that I want 1 to 2 sentences, or you can add that to the slide, or whatever makes sense for you. All right, so like I said, embed websites. We can embed websites. Say what? So this one is actually an interactive, which is really cool. It's a wave simulator. So the student can actually use this wave simulator within Pear. Game changer. They don't have to click someplace else. Like this can be the whole lesson or even a unit. Okay, the next one is Kahoot. Like I said, Kahoot is embedded right there. They don't have to go someplace else. They can just type in the game pin. That's it. All right, this one is the Desmos graphing calculator. Right in Pear Deck. They don't have to go outside. This one is the Google Street View. You can have them type in an address, or you can have the address already populated. All right, this one is a Drag the Taco. Okay, so you can use different types of icons too that you might desire to use. What's also really cool is that you can actually use more than one icon. So maybe you want them to drag tacos to 4 different locations. So that's pretty nice. And in addition, students can watch videos right in here. So they can click on this and it will open up the YouTube video in another tab. Now, if they had the Google extension Power Up, Pear Deck Power Up, then it would just play right in the Pear Deck. So that would be an additional extension that students would need. But for Pear Deck, students don't need the add-on in order to use it as a student. So that is about it for the types of questions. Really, it's kind of exploring. My suggestion to you would be to take a slideshow that you already use and you ask questions of the students that they raise their hand and put in those questions as responses or multiple choice right in the Pear Deck. I mean, start small because, I mean, you could really go to town, and it has really changed the way that I interact with students with slideshows. This has been Turner Tools. Don't forget to subscribe to be notified when a new video drops. Tune in for my next video where we dive deep into data. It will be data-tastic. See you next time.